This week's episode of the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast is proudly brought to you by Gunner Kennels. Engineered for your dog, designed for travel, and built for your peace of mind, the G1 Kennel has set a new industry standard and put Gunner Kennels in a category all its own. Gunner Kennels was started to protect your pet, and it continues to be at the center of everything they do. Gunner Kennels are dedicated to building the best and safest pet travel crate on the market. Man's best friend deserves man's best kennel. Check out their G1 series of kennels and accessories at www.gunnerkennels.com. You are listening to the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast, episode 96. This week on the show, we're celebrating opening day. We revisit some of our favorite opening day hunts and preview what we've got planned for this year. All right, welcome to the 96th episode of the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast. We are your on-demand audio source for all things waterfowl and waterfowl hunting. You can check us out at hpoutdoors.com. You can find us across all of the social media platforms out there, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're on Facebook, head over to our HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast listeners group. Join in and chat with a bunch of listeners to this show, a bunch of guys from around the industry, and probably the most active person in the group, my co-host, Dan Harushka. Dan, what's up?
Not too much, man. I am really hot right now. It is hot, and that is about all I have to say about that.
All right. Well, that's good news, I guess. If you also want to hear more amazing sound bites from Dan Harushka, you can check out all of our past episodes at iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. You can also find all the episodes at our website, hpoutdoors.com. Anywhere you can find good quality podcast content, you can find our show. Before we get too far down the road on this week's episode, I want to take a moment to thank Dunn's Sporting Goods. Dunn's is a family-owned and operated business with 2 locations in Peevely, Missouri and Marion, Illinois. They've got over 60 years dedicated to providing the outdoorsman with the best deals on hunting and fishing gear. Check out their selections at shopduns.com, as well as on Facebook and Instagram at shopduns for weekly specials and giveaways. They've also given a discount code to the listeners of this show. You can use HPO at checkout to save 10% off your purchase. Some restrictions do apply. We'd also like to thank the Bad Grammar Academy, the finest goose and duck calling instruction now available online with Scott Trinan, 3-time world champion. Practice anywhere and anytime with online access to Bad Grammar Academy. Give yourself the advantage and learn proven techniques to ensure the best chance to call birds right in your lap this season. Get started today at www.badgrammaracademy.com. Also want to thank 737 Duck and Goose Calls. Original design, select grade components, superior sound, and unparalleled service. 737 takes an exceptional pride in providing the finest quality, best built premium calls on the market today. They're made right here in America and offered only direct to customers through their website. Shipping in the U.S. is always free, and international orders are now available and can be accepted online. A 20-day money-back guarantee and lifetime warranty accompanies every call purchased. 737 Duck Calls lead the flock. Also want to take a brief moment to thank Camp Chef, Black Rifle Coffee Company, Native Eyewear, and Big Owl Silhouette Decoys made in the USA. Appreciate all of the companies for their support of this show. Also appreciate the companies that provide discount codes for the listener of this show. Head over to our website, check out the discount page, find out how you can save 10% off your purchase at Dunn's Sporting Goods, 15% off your purchase with Black Rifle Coffee Company, 10% off your purchase with White Rock Decoys. Get a special discount off of 737 Duck and Goose Calls, as well as the newest discount to join the ranks, 15% off your purchase with Alpha Dog Nutrition. So thank you to those companies and for their support of this show. Dan, we got the new discount code with Alpha Dog Nutrition, and it's probably a good time before we get too much into our conversation tonight to talk a little bit about the giveaway, the new companies that have been joining in, and the new stuff we're going to be giving away.
We can definitely do that for sure. Yeah, we appreciate the guys over there at Alpha Dog for sure. And that's the 737 discount now is a 15% discount. There were a lot of people that were putting the HPO Outdoors code, or HPO 2018, and not putting in all the specific fill colors and stuff like that for the engraving. So we kind of did away with that. He kept a code, 15% off. Awesome. So thank you, Dustin. And
cool. Yeah, appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that for sure.
So, good stuff. And that, we'll talk about those later. But that was a new one. So, the giveaway is just out of control. I think when we did this before, we were at 35, I believe. We ended with lacrosse. So what we got now, what we've added is Gundog Outdoors, Alex Langbell's new venture, the quick release safety system. And, there's a lot of people that say, make sure your dog's trained. You don't want them breaking, obviously, for safety reasons. Like myself, I have an issue with Kimber because obviously she's 9. I talk about every episode, but when she gets excited, I knew nothing about training when I started, and she gets excited and will run out there. So I do have one of these, and I'm probably going to try it out. So, and it's not, it's a quick setup. It's a very sturdy item. I'm sitting there like trying to bend everything that came with it, and there's just no tweaking it at all. So it's a really solid piece, and it will give me a peace of mind for Kimber this coming fall. And especially, I think her hearing's going a little bit too. So, once she hears those bangs, she's probably going to be gone and, getting where she needs to get to. So pretty excited about that. And, we welcome Alex to the giveaway. That was a very nice addition.
Yep. Glad to have him. Excited. I think it's a really cool product. It's definitely kind of innovative in the Gundog space. And it's something that I know a lot of guys struggle with. So I think, if you're not aware of what it is, definitely check it out. And, I think a lot of guys could definitely benefit from it.
Yeah, without a doubt. So going on, and we have 7 companies to add today. So that's our first one. Our second one, Heavy Shot, is coming in with a case of heavy steel. And I think they're sending a few hats with it. So, a good package there to get you moving on your early season. Again, these will be getting sent out, picked on our 100th episode, so you need to listen in on September 17th, and everything will go out to you after that. So Heavy Shot sending a case of heavy steel to a lucky winner, and I do have to mention that is a restricted post, or a restricted winner. We need to check the ammo shipping laws, and if you are in one of the states that does not allow it, we will have to redraw that. So unless you want to drive to Pennsylvania and pick it up.
Right. Yeah, we can't control the shipping laws and things like that. So certain states aren't going to allow that prize to be shipped to you. So unfortunately, if you live in one of those states, you're not going to be able to take advantage of that prize. And
that was their only restriction. They were wanted in, and we're thankful for that. Michael Naris, thank you very much on your end, and we appreciate it. So the third one, like you were mentioning, Alpha Dog Nutrition, they are giving a pack of Vitality, Free Range, and Resurgence, and also thrown in an Alpha Dog Nutrition hat into the mix. And, I have not used this stuff yet. I know Barton is using it on some of his dogs down there, and a few other people are raving about it. So if your dog has some sore bones or just needs to be kept up and running hard and revitalized a little bit, definitely check them out. And they have also added a blog on our website with some great writing. So we hope to continue adding content on our website with them.
Yeah. I was actually just going to bring that up. Chris did a great write-up for us, so you can check it out on our website on the main page. If you scroll down, you can go down to blog and click that link there. And he did a nice write-up about dog blinds and a lot of stuff, with that kind of when we had Ira on and talking about Habitat Flats, and has a nice layout of their product lineup and stuff like that. So really well done, cool stuff. And we're looking to just, hopefully add more content to the website that, people will enjoy and is beneficial. So if you haven't been over there to check that out, definitely give it a look.
And speaking of Ira, the fourth one is Momarsh. And they are coming in with the Invisilab and Optifade. So, we posted up that Momarsh was coming on, and people were throwing up, "Please say Invisilab, please say Invisilab." So they got their wish, and super cool with them. And I tell you what, with Ira and Brooke over at Higdon, with everything going on and the transfer, I guarantee that those guys are just going crazy between going to, Rogers shows and everything else that they do, on top of the passion for hunting and calling and all these contests. They took the time out to get it together and get back to us, get entered in this for our listeners. So, kudos to Ira and Brooke over there.
Yep. Appreciate their support for sure.
Just a good effort. And like I mentioned, Higdon, they are coming in with a box of foam-filled Magnum mallards. So those, we've been running Higdon decoys for
long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yep, I think Higdon was actually the first company that we kind of ever
did anything with.
Really worked with on a quote unquote professional level or whatever. Back when we started in 2011, and I think we got with them kind of in 2012 when they started their first pro staff. I think is when we got in with them. So definitely have seen a lot of growth out of that company, and a lot of really good things. So excited to get some of their stuff in the giveaway.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And then next, CNS custom calls. So you have a couple options here. You can pick one acrylic call, whether it be duck or goose, or two Die Hard series calls. And, people were raving about this too when we posted them up. So super excited to have them on board. And, there's two call companies in this giveaway, and both are very, very, very good people. So check them out, and, just can't say enough good things about them. So head over there and check out CNS Custom Calls and what they got going on.
Yep, good quality company. Got a big following. So I know a lot of guys are going to be excited to see them added to the mix, and hopefully somebody will get, when they win that, you get a nice choice there as far as which way you want to go with that. So all good stuff.
Those are eye-catching calls too. Just that they have something about them that makes you kind of do a double take and be like, "Oh, that's pretty." They just have a good design staff over there for sure.
No doubt.
All right, and the latest and greatest would be Mountain Op. So reach out to Jordan over there, and Jordan and Casey said, "Yep, we will do that," and they're coming in with a 6-month supply of Ignite, which is 4 tubs for everyone that has that, and also 6 bags of Slumber. So that is also a 6-month supply. So I've used Mountain Ops. I said it on our listeners group today. One of the first companies that I tried some pre-workout with that I could tell a difference, but I didn't get jittery and didn't feel like I wanted to puke from it. So I stuck with them, and all through Colorado hunts and stuff like that, I was doing all of their altitude sickness stuff and everything, and I, besides just not being in good enough shape, they definitely helped me. And that's just a lack of effort on my part, but I definitely had an advantage using that. So we welcome Mountain Ops, and those are just cool guys out there. The whole marketing staff out there, and everyone just kind of our age, and they're absolutely crushing it. So we welcome them onto the staff or onto the giveaway as well. And that takes us to 42 winners and mid $17,000 value in giveaways.
Yeah, it's this is kind of exceeded our expectations, I think, without question, when we started talking about putting together a 100th episode giveaway. And just to see the support of the, not only the people out there registering, sharing, getting the word out, getting those entries, but just the support of the companies. I mean, some of these companies, it's been like, they don't even bat an eye. They're like, absolutely, we're in. And then like Mountain Ops, it's like immediately they're like, yep, we're in with you. And then it wasn't just like, hey, here's a tub or whatever. It was like, boom, 6 months of like 2 different products. Just, really, really cool to see. And I'm excited, man. I'm looking forward to getting these winners pulled. I mean, we're going to kind of get into this week's episode, but just the energy level that is circulating right now about waterfowl season starting, this giveaway, our Instagram's blowing up, our Facebook's blowing up, our website traffic is like through the freaking roof. It's just awesome. It's got me super excited. And I know, having talking with you, Dan, we've got a lot of good things coming down the pipe content wise that we're going to be doing and we're looking forward to. So I'm ready to get it on, man. I'm like, let's do it.
Just buckle up. Yeah. It really is humbling. And especially, I mean, I say it and we both say it a ton, but you see these giant companies that are absolutely crushing it in every direction that they go, like everything turns to gold, and you reach out to these guys and they're just down to earth. They take the time to talk to you. Yeah, what do you got going on? How can I help? And it's just it's something that I didn't expect when we first started this, and I don't know why. Just kind of thought like a lot of people were uppity, but then once you actually talk to people, like some of the coolest people in this industry, so super cool, super humbling on our end, and that's how I feel right now.
Yeah,
humble,
so
grateful.
I don't know how many more things we're going to be adding to this. We're going to have to shut it down at some point, but there's a handful maybe still in the works. But if you haven't got a chance to sign up yet, don't waste any more time. Get over there. You can get the sign up link through our website. You can get it through our Instagram, all these things. If you need to find the link, message Dan, message me, whoever, get yourself signed up. There's a lot of opportunities that you can get into this by just simply clicking a couple buttons. So make sure you head over and do that. And,
so I think
not sure.
I think one of the biggest issues people are having, they keep messaging me saying, I'm not getting my referral points. And I'm sitting there, like, I messaged my buddy and he puts it in on his phone. I'm not getting my points. I said, well, just make sure that when you send a referral that you're hitting the send to my friends link and not just sharing like off of our Facebook page or something. And just because you share it doesn't mean that you get those points. You have to create that link through the Viral Sweep app yourself. It says share with my friends and you get the the points there next to it. So
right. When you sign up, Viral Sweep attributes your collection of entries to your email address. So it creates a link special for you when you share that to your buddies and they sign up through your link, then you get the entry. So if you sign up and then share the link off of our Facebook or our Instagram page to your buddies and they sign up, you're not getting it. You're not going to get bonus entries for those signups. So you have to use that link that's specific for you.
I've been sending that GIF out that it's that old lady. She's like, "That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works." When she defriends people and smashes their pictures off the wall. Have you seen that?
I'm not familiar.
It's pretty funny. I'm going to post it to your page now. But anyway, yeah, so make sure you're doing that. And also, if you need to confirm that you are entered the correct way and didn't mess up with fat fingers or something like that, typing in your email address, let us know, and we'll check it out for you.
For sure. So cool. That's the update on the giveaway. I'm sure we'll be hitting it next week as we get ever so close. We're like real close to pulling these, so it'll be here before you know it. And
30 days.
Right. And talk, because this is August 15th that we're recording this right now. And, I think the main thing we were going to focus on this week is, as I just mentioned, August 15th. So as of our recording this, and certainly as of its published on Monday next week, waterfowl season has officially opened in the United States, as North Dakota's early goose season opened today. So it's officially opening day, and we thought what better time to talk a little bit about kicking off the 2018-2019 season, share a little bit about, opening day as far as what it means to us, some of the best, some of our memories from opening days past. How do we prepare for opening day? What are we doing differently this year? What are we doing for opening day this year? And then there were some other questions that have come up in the group recently that we wanted to touch on too, in regards to, it seems like opening day, can bring out people from the woodwork, wanting to hunt and stuff. Maybe you haven't talked to in a couple months or whatever. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And I know there's one other thing you wanted to talk about, Dan, but I can't remember
just
it off the top of my
some
head.
new gear that we'll have.
Yeah. We're going to
out.
hit on some of our new gear. So what do you think, Dan? This is let's talk a little bit first maybe about how we're going to handle opening day this year. Do you think that's a good place to start?
Yeah, sure. So,
all right.
As the plan is laid currently, you'll be coming up here and may or may not be your son's first hunt.
Correct.
In a blind. So, kind of playing that by ear, and I guess we could just mix in some of the new gear, but we will be utilizing the tangle-free A-frame blinds, and that
panel blinds there, yeah.
Yeah, the panel blinds. So that combination right there, 1 to have T-Dub in a blind, possibly, 2 to have you back up here for opening day, and 3 to be using A-frames. I'm pretty jacked. Like, that's a heck of a start to opening day.
So before we even get into all this, when was the last time you and I actually hunted together? That's the question I have for you first. Been a while.
It's been a while. It's been like, I don't know, 2 years?
Yeah, I think was it when we went on the canvasback hunt down in Maryland?
I don't know if it was that
time?
or if you came up for the opener the following year. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I don't think I've been up there for an opener for a couple years.
Anyway, the band war.
I wasn't here. Oh yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that was before or after.
That was before.
So
I think that was actually the same year, if I recall.
So you came up
that year.
You came up that September, and then we went in January.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's 3 years. Is that 3 years?
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time because you missed the hunt. I think 1 year for Colorado, right? You went elk hunting in September, so
that was 2 years ago.
That prevented you from going hunting in January. And then I can't remember exactly last time.
Yeah, because it was a year before that the toe tap went the first time.
Right. And then we didn't hunt Maryland. We didn't hunt Maryland last year. That was the difference. That was the big one. So it's been 3 years, definitely.
Right.
So yeah, first time we'll actually hunt together in 3 years, which is just crazy for me to think about. So I'm excited about that. And as you mentioned, it might be my son's first hunt. As of right now, he's still a hard no for some reason. He's just not, I don't know what it is. He's not like against it. I'm just like, hey man, you want to get up and go hunting with daddy? And he's like, no. So, yeah, I don't know. He may change his mind, but as of right now, he's going to sit it out, but we'll see. try to talk him into it. If nothing else, he can come scouting or something like that. But yeah, so we're looking to get up there, hopefully get my son out in the field, have us get the chance to hunt again for the first time in a couple years, and get these panel blinds out for the first time that both of you and I, have ever used them. So we're looking forward to getting those out, getting some time behind them, get some information to share with the group here, and hopefully get you a real life review, kind of how they perform for us.
Here's the question: is that going to be our first live from the blind podcast?
I don't know. I mean, I just had to tell somebody in the group the other day that we can't be sharing all of our secrets, and then here you go, just flapping away.
Flappy. Well, we're only a couple weeks away now. It is what it is. September, man, coming quick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we'll do that or not. Well, I guess we'll have to see.
Well, we do. I will give props to Matt, who we hunt with, and who I hunt with a lot. And he's on birds already. We have a lot of property locked down. He actually just got more permission on another property. So, he's doing great work, and his job allows him to drive all through our area, like on a regular basis. So he takes that to the max when he can, especially during hunting season to find birds. And, I think I might buy him Bad Grammar Academy because literally, like, he has all nice calls and he can't call, and he says, I find the birds, you call the birds, we both kill the birds. So it's been working out. We started hunting together back, which I need to bring this up even though she doesn't listen to it. But Matt and I met on our honeymoon. We got married on the same day. I had never met him. We were on the same plane to Punta Cana and started talking there. He got back and he started hunting with our crew. So that's when we met. And that is going to be 10 years tomorrow on the 16th. So
yeah, man. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to my wife. And I think we're going to do something this winter. She always gets the cabin fever super bad. So we're going to, I don't know what yet, but probably go on either a cruise or a short trip. So it's tough finding someone to watch the three little rugrats for an extended period. So that would be our longest time away from them, doing something like that, even a long weekend. But
so what do you got? What do you got planned for the anniversary night? You gonna take her out to a nice dinner, maybe some Golden Corral?
Some crab legs?
I don't know.
Some crab legs and kern bread? No, man, I don't know. We're not. We're all right. No, we got a trip. We got a trip coming up, so we're not
taking under consideration. Yeah. Well, anyway, happy anniversary to you guys.
I appreciate it, but yeah, I don't know. But she's fairly easy to please as far as going out to dinner type thing. She always likes the old country buffet and that kind of section. So
old country buffet is hardly different than Golden Corral.
Oh, it's very similar. It's just a different crowd around here, anyways. But
fair enough. All right.
No, she's
anyway, let's get back to the hunting.
Anyway, I forget where we're at. So
no, we're talking about the opening day and what we're planning to do, and kind of, I mean, I gotta admit, like, this year is for as much as I was looking forward to the opening day and the season started. The North Dakota opener kind of snuck up on me. I mean, I was expecting to see like kill pictures all over Facebook and stuff today, and I don't think I saw any.
Yeah, I don't think I saw any either, which is weird. But it might be like 130 degrees out, so people might be like, yeah, we'll kill a ton here in a few weeks. So yeah, not too worried about it.
Right. So,
and that's you said that one is a different zone, right? So I don't know how many zones they might have. I think our friends might, or maybe our friends are in a different zone that we're friends with on Facebook. But yeah, I definitely didn't see a lot of a new kill pick. So
Yeah, I don't know how it works up there, to be honest with you, but um, I will say that for our opening day, so one of the biggest things so I used to come up there and hunt a good bit before my son got older and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that kills me is that Pennsylvania is one of the few states that still does not allow Sunday hunting. And for me to drive up to there to hunt with you, that's like a 4.5, 5 hour drive. So it's tough to leave work Friday afternoon, drive up there, get in late, hunt Saturday morning, and then turn around and, get a half day hunt or whatever, turn around and drive home on Sunday. So one of the good things about this year is that the opening day actually falls on a Saturday, which is good, not like some crazy during the weekday, but it falls on a Saturday and Monday's Labor Day. So I can actually stay through the long weekend and hunt Monday morning before I head back, which is good. I'm definitely excited about that, and it's making it much more worth my while to make the trip up there.
Yeah, so we'll get to get a little bit of recording in too in person.
Yeah,
which has never happened either.
That's right. Haven't done that yet. So
there's a lot of firsts this year. This is crazy.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is, that opening day, those resident birds, if you can get on the X, most of the time they're so comfortable in those fields. They've been feeding in them for, some of them will feed in there for 2-3 weeks leading up to the opener. And I mean, they get super comfortable, and they're just, it's just like the only time of the year where you just get like 100% completely unpressured birds, with the exception of if you get some idiot that goes and shoots their roost like in the first thing in the morning.
Yep, we had that.
Yeah, we've had that happen. But if you don't have that, I mean, those birds are coming in. I mean, this is the first time they're hearing shotgun blasts for the year. And oh man, it's nothing like it. You can have some bang up hunts in early season, if you get on the right spot.
So Pennsylvania, for anyone listening, it's broken down into a few different zones. One's a 1-bird zone, which I live in. One's a 3-bird zone, which is, like 2 miles away. And then that runs all the way over to 79. And then it turns into an 8-bird zone. So we travel into the 8-bird zone. And last year, I remember going opening day, we actually went on vacation because the house that I was looking at, it turned to the off season. So there was like a difference of like $2,400. And I was like, is it really worth $2,400 to go on opening day, or should I go on vacation and save that much money and be able to do fun stuff with it? So then I skipped it. And then opening day, I start getting messages. We got 2 bands out of the first flock. We just got 3 more bands. We just got another band. We just got 2 more bands. I think they got, I forget how many they killed, but I think they had 8 or 9 bands on opening day.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep. That's crazy. Yeah, that's the thing too. You get a banded resident flock, or family, you get like 6 or 8 banded in one group and you take the whole group out. I mean, it's like raining bands. I mean, it's so hard to get even remotely close to that at any other time of the year. And you have the benefit of living in an area where they do a lot of goose banding, for research and things like that locally. So, you can kill a lot of banded geese in September, and up your way, you can kill a lot of banded wood ducks and stuff in October too.
Right. And speaking of that, our Delta chapter, like I was telling you about, we started doing some of the banding, and apparently like at the beginning, it's very difficult to actually start catching them, but then they start flocking to it for whatever reason. But the first few times there were, I want to say a few, maybe like four wood ducks and a few mallards, a few hen mallards maybe. But anyway, our chapters got out a couple times and has been helping, so that's pretty cool. I asked if I could take the girls out the last time, but they didn't have room. So the Game Commission said here coming up when there's a lot more ducks in there, there'll be more need for help, and I'll be able to take the kids out and good photo ops and all that. So kind of excited about that, and just seeing maybe. I think it'd be really cool to actually band a bird and then harvest it in season. But,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously
cool.
you're not gonna know if it's the exact one unless you put some marking on it or something. But I don't think that's
Well, I think I think that most years you've at least killed one band out of the group on opening day. I mean, has there been an opening day where you got no bands?
I think that one when we killed 30 some, when there were two other groups in the field. There were two other groups in the same field, and we were right on the X and killed 30 some. I don't think we killed any birds or bands that year. Any bands that year.
You know what? You're right now that you mentioned that, because I remember seeing that big pile, and that's funny, because that's one thing that does happen up in Pennsylvania is you get a lot of competition, because you get these flocks of resident geese and they're hitting the same field for a couple of weeks leading up to the season. So you get a lot of guys trying to get permission to get on that field, and everybody knows somebody, and somebody gave them permission and whatever. And it ends up being like a freaking, situation in the field. Most of the time it starts the night before, because you guys out there wanting to sleep in the field, to whatever stake their claim. But
I was going to say we had like 4 guys sleep in the field that night. And then first thing we were set up and a truck rolls in and it was the landowner's nephew or something. So they went down at the end of one field, probably, 100 yards away. And then at shooting light, someone behind us in the wood line starts shooting. So we invited them to come out in the field with us. And they said, no, they didn't have any layout blinds. They were just the neighbors standing literally on the tree line shooting at birds flying over the trees.
Well, it's funny though, because even with all of that, you would think that like, all right, this is just not going to be the morning, super frustrating, whatever. But then you go and kill 30 some. That's just, it's wild to me to think of that.
Yeah, that was something else. That was definitely something else, and that's a good point to think about. Even when you think it's gonna turn for the worse or there's no way birds are gonna land. Yeah, we definitely had a day. Definitely had a day. But there's this year we have some newly acquired property, and I don't mean like just got the okay to hunt it. I believe it's new family to one of the guys that hunts with us. So we're going to have a few options on opening day, and we'll be able to cut said fields at the right time to hopefully coax some birds that way. So I think it's lining up to be a very nice hunt, and we'll see. There's hundreds of birds around, so we'll see. I'm excited about it. A lot going on. September's like a huge month. Hunting with You beginning, got this giveaway in the middle of it. I don't know what's at the end, but that's pretty exciting.
You got the Pymatuming waterfowl expo, yeah, in September.
If anybody has so we're really trying to build that here in Lionsville and bring it back to what it was. So there's a few different. It's a Ducks Unlimited weekend, but Delta puts stuff on, and also there's a community alliance that is a lot of the local businesses and stuff, and they're opening up like the ball field downtown for any vendors that want to come in for free and set up and have a place to show, and that's actually growing pretty crazy. So if anyone has any companies, in a tri-state area, or if you want to come up and put your stuff in front of a few thousand people, I think it's a good place to do it. And it's all waterfowl and arts and crafts and stuff, and just a good time. So I think they do state duck stamp like there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They pick the state duck stamp at that, winner. And then right, and then they do like a big blind lottery drawing, I think, for the Pymatuming blinds.
They do the blind drawings, and then Ducks Unlimited has I forget what they call it, but it's a big gun giveaway, gun bash type deal. So you go back after everything and can win guns, and it's cool. They have dog training and setups, and some call companies. Tim Schloss is up there with all his mounts and all the great work he does, which that's where my eider is right now. I probably won't see that for a while still, but I'm excited for that. And so if you have a business, get a hold of me. Free entry for vendors, set up anywhere you want. I'll be downtown and I'll be around there and probably have some podcast equipment. So if there's anyone cool around that wants to stop by, we can chat it up.
For sure. Yeah, I gotta admit to you too, opening day is one of those things that's, again, so for me growing up, I did mostly, deer hunting and turkey hunting with my family. And, the opening day of deer rifle season was like a legitimate holiday, like we got off of school, people took off of work, like we went deer hunting. And the night before, we'd go out to my grandparents and the family would all be there. And we're like talking strategy and who's going to go where and all this other stuff. And although my waterfowl season openers aren't to that extent, it's still one of those nights where it's like, I don't sleep great the night before. I'm usually up super late, messing with gear, tinkering with things, just getting it all together. And, and in no way am I like ever upset about that. It might be like 1, 2 in the morning before I finally get to bed the night before, but it's because I'm up like just totally immersed in, whatever waterfowl gear I got going on and talking with you guys and, drinking beers or whatever we're doing. It's just a good time, and it's like that official start to fall for me, even though it's usually like, 90 degrees the next day. It still feels like, all right, we're shifting gears into fall now, and it's time to get it on.
Yes, sir. So shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about new gear that you're excited for this year. What do you got coming out?
I think, so I'll be running a few new calls. I'll be running some 737 calls this year. Just got my nitro from those guys and got it, been running that and really looking forward to that, adding that onto the lanyard in addition to, number one single reduct call that I'll be running with them. And so those are going to be, the goose call and the panel blinds will be getting a run for sure. One thing that I did too is because I've got access to some new archery properties this year and got some good bucks on trail cam. I got some Sitka gear subalpine pattern that I'm actually considering wearing because we're going to be in green fields for the most part. So I might try some of that gear out. Cause a lot of my Optifade waterfowl stuff is heavier. Well, not heavier, but my outer gear and stuff like that. So I might break out some subalpine, see how that goes. But and another thing I'm looking forward to is I've got whenever it came out a couple months back, I got the Sony A7 III. That's my primary camera that I'm running now. So I'll be having that out for the first time in the field, on that hunt. So I'm looking forward to getting the new camera gear out and, I like taking photos, but I like taking photos of, hunting and outdoors the most. So, that and family stuff. So, hopefully I'll get to do both, but if not, we'll definitely get some outdoor photos.
Yeah, that's same for me with the 737 A-frame blinds. But one that I've only got to use a little bit, and it was an epic start to its life cycle with me. But my A300 it really didn't do much damage last year for whatever reason. Actually, I didn't go out much late goose, but I think that's right when we started really picking up the podcast again and just getting back in the swing of things. But they I had the main trip, killed the eider with it, did a lot of patterning before I went up there. But man, she's been barking, in the safe, just ready to get out and do some damage to honkers. So I'm excited to, it's funny because my mentality in previous years going out, I'd always be nervous about getting that click just because I don't know why. I think because
you got it all the time.
My poor cleaning
so frequently.
Yeah. So now, like the confidence that I have to go out there and know that thing's going to slam. And it's funny, just the difference. And I don't know if I mess something up with a spring or whatever it is, but it's a totally different shooting gun than the 3901. and definitely just I don't know. I'm super pumped to have the confidence this year to go out and know that, you know, it's not the gun's fault this year. It's my fault, and you know, so I'll make sure to take my time, get the cheek down, put the bead up, and get after it. So that's something that, you know, a lot of people don't talk too much about, but the confidence in your gun and other gear is just not replaceable. But that,
Yeah, and that's a good
yeah.
well, that's a good point, because a lot of guys, you know, they might be going out for their very first goose hunt this early season, you know, like if they're new or have maybe been off for a couple years, or, you know, we get stories, guys all the time come back from deployments, or, you know, change jobs, relocating, you know, they're learning new places. So like confidence is a big thing. And, you know, a lot of guys in the early season might not have a ton of confidence because of all of those things. You know, they're haven't had a chance to practice on their calls as much as they'd hope for. You know, they might be living in a new area and they're hunting for the first time, and maybe they're forced onto some public ground that they're not used to hunting, and maybe there's some nerves built up, you know, whatever it is. The nice thing about the early season is, as I mentioned, it's like that first couple days is your best opportunity to hunt truly unpressured birds. I mean, those birds live there. They've been feeding in these areas for, you know, weeks on end. So location and getting your scouting in is uber important in the early season, because even if you're not comfortable or confident in your calling or your shooting and all that kind of stuff, if you're on the X, those resident birds, you know, you can almost put it in the bank that they're probably coming there. And, you know, you just got to be ready and not screw it up. So, you know, for guys, if you're one of those guys, like if you're, for whatever reason, just not super comfortable or confident about going into the early season, the biggest tip that I would give to you, other than scouting, because you got to scout all the time and know where birds are, the thing that I'm going to tell you to focus on and be 100% confident on morning of is your hide. Get your concealment squared away, because if you're in the right spot, you probably won't have to call much. You won't even need to put out the right decoy pattern or whatever. Just cover up and make sure they don't see you, because don't forget, they're comfortable there. They've been coming to that field for 2-3 weeks or whatever it is. If there's something that sticks out of place, they're going to know it, and they're going to pick you out quick. So just because they've been going in there and they're resident birds, don't mistake that don't think that they're dumb. So, making sure that hide is good is super critical. And if you're hunting in a grass field where it's nice and short and tough to hide in, you know, it can be a challenge. So, you know, maybe find a wood line or a fence row or something that you can leverage to low spot in the field, whatever. But, you know, the hide is very, very important in the early season.
So you were just talking about like short grass. How much confidence do you have in an A-frame in the short grass?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've thought about that. And I think it's going to be just how well we can brush it in, honestly. I've worried about this because I'm going to be getting in so late on Friday night. Like, I don't know how much I'll be able to help brushing night of. And they're going to have to be brushed with some tall grass or something. You know, I almost wish I had like grass mats or something that I could use, you know, that we could use for that.
They shouldn't have to be too tall because we got the toppers on them.
Yeah, but you can't, I mean, if it's in a grass field, like it needs to have grass edges. So like you definitely you can't have like smooth or rounded edges in a grass field. Like I feel like all of the break points need to be covered in grass so that perception is still there. You know what I mean?
To try and take shadows away? Is that what you're saying?
Just like if you flip the lid over, like, yeah, it's camo and it's covered, but it's still that texture, just in the same sense as you wouldn't lay your layout blind out in the field with no cover on it and say, well, because it's camo, they can't see me.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying they can see edges and things like that. So like, you know, even though you have the lid, you would want to brush in that lid as well. And I just, you know, I don't know exactly.
Dude,
I would imagine.
I'm sorry. Our 8-acre field right now, we haven't mowed it all year. So we're going to have plenty. I mean, it's not straight green grass, but we're going to have plenty of tall grasses and weeds and stuff. There's probably going to be so many spiders. You're probably going to be happy that you're not brushing a blind with us. Yeah,
I'll just have to sit in that spider cage the next morning, which I'm fine with.
It'll be fresh inside. You're fine. Spiders don't travel.
I told you, I'm good with spiders
outside.
relatively speaking, when they're outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's going to be the best, new gear for us. Biggest things. Definitely forgot about your gun. I think that's probably a big one for you too.
I'm pumped about that. I dabbled in a little timber Sitka gear this year too. So.
Oh snap!
So we played there, and also public service announcement: if you get the new Hudson jacket or bibs from Sitka, you need to size down from your normal size. So I got a large. I have a large in Marsh, an old one, and I actually have it on our Facebook group. It went live to show the difference, but the large in a new Hudson is about an extra large, and the same with the. But I'm excited that my new Hudson, because that's in timber, and that is a larger one. It's a large, but it's not the form fit anymore. But the Hudson bibs, I got I had large last year in the Pantano bibs. Now these Hudson bibs, I think I went XL because I wanted them outside, and I'm just swimming in them. So know when you are purchasing those that they run big, but that seems to be the only stuff that runs big that I've seen.
Yeah, I got a pair of the Hudson bibs, and I got the XLT, so I got the extra large tall. And for me, I'm 6'4", 220, and XL for me has pretty much been my size, but it's form fitting. And so I went with the extra large tall on those Hudson bibs, and I'm definitely swimming in them. I mean, they're definitely baggy, and they're not the fit that I was expecting. They're still comfortable, and I mean, they'd be plenty fine. And if this is your first piece of Sitka gear, you probably wouldn't even think twice about it, because it's not probably as baggy as what your other stuff would have been, but it's not as form fitting as they used to be. But I'm interested to try on your XLs to see how they compare to the XLTs, because like just the space inside the legs.
See, I might
quite
send them back. I might send them back because the legs are they're way too big. I don't even think they would be good on you.
Well, I'd like to try them on before you send them back, because if I send mine back, I'm probably not going to go with a large.
Okay, well, I'll wait then.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'll wait. You can try them. They just seem. Are the XLTs like way too tall for you, or is the height good?
The height's manageable. I can deal with it. I've got the suspenders tightened down pretty far, but it's fine. But I haven't tried them on with my what do I got? Like the gradient pants, I think is what the wader liners are. Yeah, I could put those on under there when it's cold. I haven't put my jacket on top. I haven't done full like kit build out yet, but it was definitely more room than what I was expecting. And it's a shift from, how their stuff had fit in the past.
And see, and I'm, that guy's made fun of me, 5'10" and a half, because Trav says there's no way I'm 5'11". So, but I have those XLs, like I have them on the very shortest they can go, and they're just too long. They're too wide. They might go well for you. They seem too baggy, but the height might make up for that. I don't know. I'll hold on to them. I'll let you try them out.
I mean, it's like 2 weeks away. You can make it.
I know. I'll hold out.
So, all right. So that covers the new gear that we're going to be running, at least here in the early season, I think. Something that you wanted to talk about that came up recently in the listeners group was...
Well, wait. I think we might have a HDI flapper in the spread to try out. So I don't know if I want to try it opening day. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But I might. So we'll have to talk about that. Maybe try it on the first flock and see how it goes. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. And we'll see what kind of grass we're into. I think they sit up a little bit, but, depending. We'll see.
Well, I mean, the thing that, I like to say about this, and it's something that I've completely stolen from Sean Stahl when we had him on back in the day. It's just like everything else. Your calls, your decoys, they're all a tool just to get the birds to do what you want them to do. So if that helps us accomplish that, then let's do it.
By all means.
Right. So
Yeah.
let's shift gears again here a little bit and talk about this issue that came up in the listeners group. And I think it's one that probably a lot of guys deal with. And, I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to go about handling it, but it's the idea of, season's getting close, people are getting excited, and all of a sudden one day your phone rings and it's, your boy that you haven't talked to in a couple months or whatever. And he's talking about, going goose hunting on opening morning. And how do you handle that?
Yeah, I kind of had the same question. And I think we've had like 3 or 4 questions about this lately. So there's a few different rundowns. So a couple of guys said, I haven't talked to this guy and he just wants to show up. And then another guy says, I talk to this guy all the time, but he doesn't want to put in the effort in the off season and just wants to tag along and hunt, all of our holes. And then another guy says, he's a friend, but he doesn't help out in any way, but he's still a good friend. And, maybe he'll pitch in on gas or buy breakfast, like reasonable enough to do that. And then just, how do you go about friends or family that are out of state that, they love to hunt? Maybe they don't invite you down there, but they want to come up and hunt your spots. And in the same time, they don't know enough to, help with the gas or the boat or whatever it may be. So a lot of different options. And I thought it was very interesting to see. And I think a couple of the guys just jumped on and said, easy enough, like just don't invite them. And I don't think that's the right way to approach it. So depending.
I really hesitate to say what's right and what's wrong in this situation, because to each his own, right? I mean, who am I to tell anybody how to handle their own situation? But I know for me personally, so things happen, right? And, people are busy and everybody's busy and everyone's got things going on. And, there's a million different reasons as to why you maybe don't keep in touch with certain people as much as you do as others, whatever. But the first thing that comes to mind when I hear this is if this person is truly your friend, right? Like you consider them a friend, you want to hunt with them, maybe, if this is somebody you want to hunt with, but like they're just not carrying their weight or whatever, like you need to have a conversation with these people, before you cause like a holy war with your family or your out of state friends or whatever. Like you just need to have an honest to goodness conversation with people. And it's not like you have to come across as a jerk. You can just say like, hey man, like I want you to understand, like I'm out here building blinds. I'm out here brushing blinds. I've put this much, I'm putting money into it. Like, I'm getting all this stuff ready, these decoys, whatever. Like give them an idea of what you have invested and just be like, hey man, like if you want to come with me, like I'd love to have you, but like, I need you to help out. Like the other guys that are going to be hunting with me, like they help out, and you could give them options. Be like, some guys spend, hours throughout the summer with me building blinds and brushing blinds and all this kind of stuff. And other guys who live further away, like maybe they can't do that. So when it comes season time, they bring breakfast or they, pitch in other ways, or they invite me to their spot, or whatever it is. But just to like cut it off really kind of, in my opinion, could put you in a bad spot in the sense that like, unless you, again, it's all caveated by if you don't care and you don't want to hunt with the person, then don't invite them. But like if you care and it's a person that you want to be friends with and you are friends with, there needs to be a conversation, because you can't, like, I mean, I hate to think that this is even possible in today's day and age, but like if they're just clueless enough to not know, you can't really hold it against them, because if they don't know, like if they don't know any better, like you don't know what you don't know. And if you tell them and then they still don't, whatever, like now we're having a different conversation, I kind of feel like.
Yeah. And I'm thinking from the person that wants to have the conversation. So your buddy's not being a good hunting buddy, and you want to initiate that difficult conversation. And the first step is to actually initiate it, start the conversation. You can blame Josh and myself and say, I was listening to HP Outdoors Waterfowl podcast. They were talking about hunting buddies. And they really made some good points that, I put all this time in, and you show up and reap the rewards. And I think that one, you either need to help scout, or everything else you mentioned, bring breakfast or do something. But, we need to make some changes, and I need some help if you want to keep coming to my spots. So put the blame on us. Tell us that we made you do it, and that should help you out in that difficult situation.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the two. I mean, I can relate to this because, like, we're talking about me coming up there to hunt with you, right? Like, I haven't hunted with you in 3 years. I haven't hunted with Matt in longer than that. And Matt's got his, he's got a group. You have your group that you hunt with up there, right? I mean, and the guys that you do. So it's like, and here comes me, one more gun, like, coming out of nowhere, coming in late the night before. So it's like, just because of my circumstances, like, I end up just showing up at the field, and I'm like, I mean, I'm super appreciative and I'm super grateful. And, if there's a way to pay it forward, I certainly will do that. But, I get it. Like, I would get it if people were like, hey man, we got 6 guns. Sorry. We don't got room for another one. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? So I understand people's frustrations, and I think that's part of it too. Like, if you have a situation like this, like, it's incumbent upon that person that's coming to instill upon you their thankfulness and that they are truly appreciative of what you're doing. And if you don't feel like that, then you definitely need to have a conversation, because, at that point, like, they obviously don't get it, and I don't know, maybe some people do get it. I don't know. I mean, some people might not even know, like, what it takes to get a spot ready for waterfowl hunting, and, the money that it takes to buy decoy spread and blinds and all that stuff. And I mean, I don't know, but it's definitely not an easy question. And it's one that can definitely tear up friendships and relationships and things like that. So you gotta tread lightly, unless you just don't care. I mean, ultimately, if you don't care, you don't care. And, you stay, resolute, and no, sorry, man, you didn't help out in the off season, so you're not going to get to do anything now. But just keep in mind, maybe, was this a dude that helped you out in a bad spot at some point in your life? You had a family situation, or your car broke down, or whatever. I mean, just because that person hasn't ever helped you on that hunting spot, like, is that a person that's been valuable in your life that's provided aid for you in another way, or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, I guess my point is, like, it's hunting, right? Like, it's not the end all be all. There are bigger, more important things in life. Like, just keep it all in perspective, and, if this is just a rando dude that you hunted with occasionally once in a while, and you don't owe him anything and he doesn't owe you anything, like, okay, maybe you just say, hey man, blind's full. Sorry. Like, maybe next time, but if it's a good family friend or something like that, maybe you got to handle a little more delicately. I don't know.
Right. And that's, we kind of wanted to talk about hunter recruitment, and not go into, how the license sales are so bad, and not that necessarily, but this is a time when you can ask a new friend out, or, and I don't even want to, I'm almost to the point, and I guess I shouldn't even say that, because I think, taking kids out, but if there's a way that you can take, I don't know, I want to say, if you have friends that are parents and you think that you can get them out, try to get them involved, and that could lead to, like, twofold. That could get your friend taking his kid out. So say that you never hunted, and say T-Dub, turned 12 and he had never went hunting. I would much rather take you out, show you a good time, and then either both of you come with me, or you can take him and you guys, start your own adventures like that. Where if you take the 12-year-old by yourself, which isn't always a bad thing, I'm not saying it is, and I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but once you take that kid the first time, is there going to be a second time? Are you going to follow up with that? Are you going to keep taking that kid? And just a random thought of the night, but, look for people. It's warm out. It's, like you said, mostly unpressured birds, and you can kind of show them a false sense of security in the opening days of hunting when the birds come flying in instead of, late season when they're really making you work for it. So, things to think about, but that's one thing that I definitely love about our group. It doesn't matter who it is, but it also, it started, back when with Joe and myself, and, we started, we invited Matt out on a hunt, and then from there we pulled in regulars just by asking them if they wanted to hunt one time, and then it started to be every time, and they've put work in, either their friends or family, they'd get fields and, show up on time and do everything right. So when they ask to invite someone, you kind of know what's expected. So it's, it's just, you start to get into that groove. But I tell you what, going out and hunting with different people is a lot of fun too. Going up on that main trip and seeing how different people do things is an eye opener sometimes.
Yeah. And again, that's what makes waterfowl hunting great, in my opinion, because, unlike deer hunting, when you come to hunt my farm, you're sitting in a blind with me and we're shooting the breeze, chewing the fat while we're waiting on birds to fly. You're not sitting in a tree stand a couple 100 yards away from me and we're having no social interaction. So, you build friendships as much as anything in a waterfowl blind, and you build relationships. And, to your point about bringing the kid and the dad and stuff like that, regardless of whether that kid, if you take the 12-year-old out and if that kid hunts again, if you take his dad out, that's one more thing that his dad can bond with his son over. And maybe his son gets bit by it. And, I do things all the time that I don't like to do, but my son loves to do them. So I do them because it's something that we can do together. And I can tell you right now, if my son wanted to hunt and I was not a hunter, I'd hunt with him because it was something that, because again, this is like a little bit of a soapbox, but my kid's 7, right? So I'm starting to see and I'm starting to really cherish these years because it's not that far away that he's going to be too cool to hang out with me, and he's going to be wanting to do things with his buddies and all this kind of stuff. So I literally don't care what it is that we do as long as we get to do it together. And if that's something that we get to do together that someone else introduces us to that I have no familiarity with, then so be it, man. But, you don't know if you don't open the door. And, take it from a guy who's hanging on to his kid's childhood as much as he can. Those days are going to go by so quick. And, it's a lot bigger than like goose hunting or deer hunting or whatever it is. So, yeah, I mean, if you get an opportunity to take a kid, that's great. If you get an opportunity to take a kid and his dad, that's great too. But I think the thing is, man, everybody can't have everything, right? Everybody's not going to be able to put in all the time and all the money and all the resources and all the effort that everybody does. It just isn't going to work that way. And unless you want to sit in a blind by yourself all the time, you have to kind of relax that to some extent, right? And use just sort of rational thought as to how you want to manage that. But inevitably, you're going to have one guy in the group that has access to a lot of land, or you're going to have one guy in the group that has access to this, or one guy in the group that brings that. And, it's managing that balance that kind of makes the whole thing work. And it's a give and take, and it's not an easy one. Sometimes I get that too. And some days you just got to you're going to have to tell guys no. Some days you just say, I don't have room today, man. Sorry. And just know that, other days will be your day. It's kind of like Barton was talking about down at the kennel. It's some days you're pulling this guy, some days you're pulling that guy. It just kind of depends on what's going on, but obviously, you kind of commit yourself. If someone's putting in the time and they're putting in it with you, then, you're in a hard spot. You can't really tell them no, right? I mean, cause they're doing everything you ask of them. So, that does go both ways.
See, and I could see a bigger issue if there's a boat involved, and once you're getting close to the max weight limit, stuff like that, where safety is a concern, that could not be an excuse, but that could definitely be a limiting factor to where you have to tell someone, sorry, man, we got to draw straws or something for this weekend hunt or what, whatever it may be. And but yeah, definitely, it's whenever we can. If someone wants to come out and hunt with us, yeah, man, we'll squeeze another blind in. What is it?
Yeah,
So
and that's kind of my point too. Early season, especially when in some areas you get nice big limits and you get these resident birds that are, you can have some epic hunts and just thump them, and sometimes you want more guns, right? I mean, because chances are you bust them out of that field, you're probably not busting them there again the next day or the following day. So you might as well get on them. And then, in a little bit of time, they're going to be moving out and new birds are going to come, move in. So you don't have anything to lose by thumping them good, with an extra gun or two, within reason. But again, in no way am I trying to tell somebody how to make their decisions and what's right and what's wrong, because I think every situation is probably unique, and you just got to kind of gauge that and sort of, make an evaluation based on that. But I guess my overarching thing would just be, remember it's hunting, and if it's a good buddy of yours or whatever, like, is it worth damaging a friendship over or something like that? And I guess you got to be the judge, but it's not an easy decision, and it's something that a lot of guys wrestle with. Clearly, I mean, we hear this question a lot.
yeah, a lot. But I feel like how there's like stages of a hunter. Like first, you just want to kill everything and pile it up, and then it's like a trophy stage, and then it's like an experience stage. See, I don't know if I ever really hit the like trophy stage, especially like whitetail or anything like that. And I did pick to go and shoot an eider and just experience that whole thing, but it goes back to it now. Like, it is about the experience for me more than killing stuff. And, the friendships that are made and just the time out in the field and seeing everything work, like, that's really why I hunt anymore. So if I can share that with someone or bring someone on to experience that with me, like, I'm cementing myself more in that mentality lately, not by choice, but just that's how like my mind has been working lately. So it's really it's different. And even talking with Ben out Big Kansas, he's like, you guys are going to be doing episodes out here, and y'all are really putting the pressure on me. We got a photographer and a guy coming to do video now too, and he's like, I feel pressure, and that's a good thing because it makes me work hard to make sure everything's done. I'm like, dude, honestly, I don't care if we kill 2 birds apiece. Like, this is going to be an epic trip that I'm never going to forget. A lot of people don't get to fly around the world or fly around the United States to different states all the time and hunt different flyways or whatnot. But just that experience, going out, staying, having a weekend, I'm just pumped. And that is, I could care less if I shot any birds. And actually, I hope I don't shoot a banded bird, because then I'm going to have to wear a mustache around the entire weekend. So, I'm just to that stage now, and I really hope that I can get more people in the field this year that enjoy that. And I don't know, man, maybe that's us getting older or the dads in us and seeing our kids enjoy things that we enjoy. I don't know. But anyway,
well, I'm in the same boat, because yeah, I love pulling the trigger. I love making big piles. I love all that stuff, but I'm like you. I have just as much fun if I don't pull the trigger. And if we fly out to Kansas, I guarantee you, whether I pull the trigger or not, we're gonna have a blast. I mean, we're gonna be with good people, good times, all like-minded dudes out there, and we're gonna talk so much, waterfowl hunting and stuff. I mean, it's just gonna be a blast. And for me, and you're a lot like me. I don't go to like happy hours. I don't go out to like bars or any of that kind of stuff. Like, I work my tail off and I go home and I spend time with my wife and my kid. And waterfowl hunting particularly is my social outlet. So like, that is the time that I get to spend with my friends. And whether I'm, drinking Miller Lights, pulling the trigger, watching football, whatever, like, when I'm with my friends, we're having a blast. And these days, it just happens to be that I spend that time with my friends in the blind. And, so I love it. I cherish all that time, and you will continue to do so. And if we can pull the trigger a bunch, that's cool. If we can't, that's cool too. So, I'm in the same boat, man. It's just, it's my time to, step away from, dad, provider, and, husband, and just be one of the guys. And, the older I get, it seems like the less and less time I have to do that. So I'm not gonna spend that time upset because I didn't get to pull the trigger. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yep. No, so that's that's some good conversation there. Some things to think about. And really, at the end of the day, does it matter if you shoot a duck or if it's your buddy next to you shooting a duck? For me, no. For me, I don't have a ton of bands. Would I be upset if my buddy next to me that I invited for the first time, him hunting in his life? No, I would be totally jacked if he shot a band. So I mean, it is what it is. Step back and take a look at the whole picture and the change that you could make in someone's life. So a lot of good stuff could happen being a field and showing nature to someone in a different aspect.
No doubt.
So what else are you thinking, bud?
I'm thinking that it's after 11 o'clock. I'm getting kind of sleepy, so might be a good breaking point. But I'm excited to be able to talk about like actual hunts soon. Like being in the field and seeing all the photos, and our Facebook listeners group is bananas as it is. I just can't. I'm just so excited to see what it's going to look like this off season or this season when people are, just crushing birds and getting out in the field and all that kind of stuff. It'll be exciting. If you haven't joined yet, head over there. It's growing like crazy, and really good area over there. And I'm really proud of what that's turned into, and looking forward to seeing everybody having success and getting out in the field, man.
Yeah, and stay safe. Make sure you get your little safety meetings in before the hunts, and keep those barrels pointed away from other people, because that's the worst. Absolute worst, seeing that stuff.
No doubt.
But yeah, I think it's a good one, man. So this is 96. We're 3 more episodes, and then the 4th will be a giveaway of a bunch of goodies.
Yeah, I mean it's coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the winners and all that stuff. And man, it's like, it's a gift and a curse, because it feels like you wait so long for duck season to come and goose season to come, and then it gets here, and it seems like it goes by in a blink of an eye. So it seems like what's the old saying? The days drag on, but the years fly by. It seems like every year the season gets shorter and shorter, at least in my mind. And I'm ready to get this one going and just try to enjoy it the best we can. So, what else you got? You got one last thing you want to add here before we wrap up?
Nick Venozzi, and I'm going to put a picture up because he made us some HP Outdoors pens that are stellar, and I'm going to give him a little shout out here. So he has Six Pack Woodwork is the name of his company. He does custom pens. You can get HP pen or your logo on it. He did one of ours in like a bullet type format, and I've been writing all my notes on it tonight, and it's my new lucky pen. So Nick, thank you, man. Appreciate it. And go check him out. Again, Six Pack Woodwork, super cool stuff. He didn't need to do it, and he did. He's a fan of the show. We're a fan of him. I believe he's a vet. So, good dude. Good dude all around.
Awesome, Nick.
And that's,
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, so those are all people that we meet through the podcast and the listeners group, and getting to know these guys. It's it's really cool to be able to reach people like that and consider people new friends. So, cool stuff. Meet us over there. How's your ear doing?
So I went to a specialist, and the infection's gone, which is good, but he thinks that my issue might be jaw related. Apparently, if you like clench your teeth or whatever, it can cause jaw related issues that can impact your ears. So I got some different techniques going on to address that, but it does feel a little bit better. And I think it is getting better. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So I'm on the road to recovery.
So are you a grinder? Do you grind at night?
No, actually, I think what happened was because I don't snore at all. And when I was really congested, that led up to the ear infection, my wife kept like complaining because I was snoring like crazy. So I think just every night sleeping with my mouth open, like that angle, like jacked up my jaw somehow and caused it like issues to not like relieve the pressure. because I went to the ear doctor, and he did a lot of like really crazy stuff that convinced me that I wasn't going deaf, even though I thought I was losing my hearing. But he did some stuff with my jaw that was like just really surprising how it like impacted my ears and stuff. So
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like driving your knuckles into your
it's like
jawbone?
I'm doing some he's gave me like a prescription like steroid that's supposed to help it, and then I'm like doing like heat pads and like kind of like massaging the area around a little bit and taking a leave and stuff like that. So it's definitely helped.
Is it like a topical steroid and then your beard is just growing like inches per day?
No, actually my beard right now is as short as it's been in a really long time.
Oh my gosh, it's so sad.
I trimmed it. What are you talking about? Mine grows back like a day. Like it's no big deal. It's just I wanted to get a little bit. I was looking kind of raggedy, and I just needed to tighten it up a little bit. So I took it down. But I mean, it's not like I shaved it off or anything. I didn't go like super crazy extreme.
Gotcha.
Right. So
all right, man.
We're rambling. You got anything else you want to add before we go ahead here and clear up?
I don't think so. I think that's good for tonight.
Those are the loudest sound ever. Real quick, before we head out, do you want to just take a minute again to thank Gunner Kennels, Dunn Sporting Goods, Bad Grammar Academy, 737 Duck and Goose Calls, Camp Chef, Black Rifle Coffee Company, Native Eyewear, and Big Al's Silhouette Decoys. Thank you to all of those companies in the support of this show. And again, we encourage everybody that to support those companies in any way that you can. So with that, Dan, let's go ahead and put a bow on it. All right, that's going to do it for episode 96 of the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast. If you're new to the show, make sure you head over to iTunes or hpoutdoors.com, get caught up on all the past episodes, and you can leave us a 5-star rating and review while you're at it. We certainly appreciate that, and it also helps other people just like you find our show. Hopefully you guys are fired up just like we are for opening day. It's right around the corner. Share with us what you got planned. We're excited to see the photos if you're already out in the field, and let us know how you're doing. So until next week, for Dan, I'm Josh. Take care.